Hello, my name is Adam Luke. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist here in Southern California, and I was posed with a question by Joe the other day. She said, "Hey, Adam, how about you try to answer this question for me?" I said, "All right." So this question that she had was, as a new clinician, as someone who's been newly licensed, trying to set up what private practice looks like, trying to just set up what your stamp on this world is going to look like in the way of being a therapist. What would you want as a wish list from individuals who have been in this field longer than you? And she said, I've been having these conversations with individuals that might be 50, 60, 70 years old, who may say, well, I don't feel like I have anything to give to the next generation of clinicians. And this idea is pretty powerful to me, that there are individuals that think that they can't give back to that next generation. So I wanted to share a little bit of my experience as I had sort of been able to flesh out with Joe in just a few minutes of conversation. So I can say that fundamentally who I am as a therapist, who I am as a clinician, who I am just being me, would be fundamentally different if I hadn't had individuals who took the time and the diligence to speak into my life, who were older than me, who didn't, I think, initially engage me just because I thought, oh, I can mentor this person, I can speak to this person, but they ended up through simply engaging, being fundamental mentors in my life. And so I was able to come up with 3 things that I would want to encourage or champion the older clinicians in the room to do, because this is what I know I would want as a clinician just getting started off in my licensure. The first is, tell me your story. And I think the reason why this is on my wish list is because so many times we equate success in this field by figure points. So do you make 6 figures? Do you make 7 figures? Do you have that $1 million practice? Are you able to travel all the time? And we get so much wrapped up into success as dollar signs. And the truth is, money is always a great thing. It's an amazing tool. But how about tell me about your happiness? Tell me about how you made it work with 3 kids and a spouse or a loved one. Tell me how you still have fire in your gut 25 years later to go impact people and help heal people. I want to hear these stories. Tell me about the trials. Tell me about the times where you felt like you had faced absolute adversity and didn't know if you were going to continue in the field. And the reason why I say that is because I remember a very formative discussion I had with 2 clinicians sitting in Colorado once at dinner. 2 people that are I would equate as being very successful. And I was at a point in my career where, as an intern, I felt dejected. I felt like I just simply couldn't get any momentum moving in the career path that I had chosen. My foray into private practice wasn't doing well. I couldn't seem to engage clients and keep a steady client load. And I felt so much like I had put all this experience and all of sort of my fiscal resources into getting a master's degree and not going to be able to actually make this be a career. And I remember it was like a 15-minute discussion, but it gave me enough fire to move on. And it was Tamara Settle and it was Kathleen Shanahan, and they just simply were able to meet me in that moment, and each one had that story of adversity in their life. And I remember when I had to rebuild my private practice for the 2nd time, for the 3rd time. I remember when I built something with my business partner and it fell apart, and here I am having put everything back together and feeling completely lost. And their ability to meet me in that moment and tell me their life story and not just give me that sort of, go get him, kid, it's going to be fine, was a huge impact in my life. So one, tell me your story. And please don't be afraid to share that story, because there's people out there that are, as I put it, close to their diamond. They've dug and dug and dug, and sometimes we get to a position where we're about to give up, and it's going to be that next shovel full of dirt, and that next amount of hard work that you're going to put in, all the payoff is coming. But you're tired. And in those times, it's not memes and it's not inspirational wallpaper that gets you through. It's the real life story of, no, don't worry. Keep going, because I've been where you have been. The next one, my next wish list there, be approachable. And I know for a fact that this is probably not going to be a hard one for most of you. And what does it mean by be approachable? When you have a new budding clinician, or you have someone that reaches out for coffee, take us up for it. Please take us up for it. I think the next point in the conversation is sometimes we look at each other like we're competition. And so you may sit there and realize, hey, I've spent 25, 30 years building a private practice, and here's a newbie who's dropped himself right into my pond, or, set up a shop or hung a shingle, whatever you want to say, right down the street for me, or in the same building. Here's the deal. Effective therapists lead to effective healing. And I can never be you, and you can never be me. And so I'm not looking to be your flavor of ice cream. All of our clients essentially like certain ice cream, whether it's vanilla, Rocky Road, pistachio, whatever. I know fact I'm a Rocky Road in the therapy room. But you know what? Maybe you're pistachio. And guess what? The people who love what you do for how you do it are going to continue to go to you. And same for me. And so it's not that I am trying to poach any area of working with you, but how about this? If we can work together, I truly believe iron sharpens iron. I know that as a newly licensed clinician, you probably have some sort of way to speak into challenges I'm going to experience. Oh, I remember setting up an LLC. Oh, I remember what it was like signing my first lease. But maybe you have questions too of like, how the heck do you get TikTok to work? Or Instagram, or whatever it is. How do you use social media to end up converting that into clients, receiving clients, engaging clients? The fact is, we all have shareable knowledge. And so being approachable into that of I'm not looking for you to be Einstein. I'm not looking for you to have all the answers. And you know what? One of the probably most impactful answers you can have is when you look at us and you say, you know what? That's a great question. I don't know. I've still been trying to solve it for my 15, 20, or 25 years in a private practice. I've been trying my best. So my third wish list. And this one is kind of different, because this is my wish list for the older clinicians. What I would want is, I would want to champion you and encourage you to continue to push yourself out of that comfort zone and to pour into our lives. Because I know I need it. I know, again, I wouldn't be who I am as a clinician if people hadn't taken the time to simply give me small aspects of themselves. It's not a huge commitment. It's not that I need to essentially call you every night for hours on end. It's just being able to be aware of, yeah, I remember being at that point. And more importantly, knowing that no matter whether you're a nonprofit or you're a for-profit, or you make 6 figures or you make nothing, that you have the ability to pour into us. that you have the ability to share something. I think and I was sharing this with Joe, I said some of my supervisors that I worked with that are immensely successful in this field taught me amazing lessons in what not to do as a clinician. They taught me about terrible boundaries. Now, they didn't specifically go there, but they did it through their actions. They showed to me what I didn't want to bring into my professional life when I went ahead and was able to say, I'm a licensed clinician. And yet I also sat with individuals who would in no way, shape, or form consider themselves successful therapists and learned amazing things on what it takes to have the grit to stay in this industry and be able to come in, day out with fire in my gut and helping people change their lives. And so it doesn't matter what your bank account is. It doesn't matter how many zeros and commas are in there. The fact is, you have priceless knowledge right here. And I'll say it to the end of the day, and end of the time, because that's the facts. But sometimes we use those negative narratives against ourselves. Oh no, I wouldn't have anything to pour. Oh no, you do. Maybe it's just simply speaking to, this is not an easy industry to be in. I think sometimes people get misled by that. Oh no, it's just going to be quick. It's quick money. No, it's not quick money. You're going to work hard for it. But if you work hard and you stay persistent, you are going to be able to get to a space where you're happy with the work you put out, you're encouraged by the change you see in other people's lives, and you can't wait to that next hour you get to spend in the therapy room. So I hope that this video has been helpful in one way or another, because I think this is important, that please do not think that you have nothing to give back to the next generation of clinicians, because we're out there, we're digging, we're experiencing challenges, and we're looking forward to growing into the people you've become through your journey. So have a great day. I hope you all are doing well. As you can see, I'm coming from my home office, or as I like to call it before March, my home. So I know that we've had a lot of adjustment in this, but I hope that you can remember those three things. Tell me your story, be approachable, and never stop pouring back into that next generation. Someone did it for you. You owe a debt to the next generation of pouring into those people coming up. So thank you so much, Joe, for letting me have the conversation. I'll see you all later.